I don't think you can turn a into a housewife. I don't.
Okay.
Not for a masculine man.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I think a feminine man, sure, because she makes the rules.
Hyper masculine women will seek out feminine men so that they don't have to deal with the resistance that they would normally deal with dealing with a masculine man. And I think the clearest example of that is if any of you have ever lived in a household where your mom controlled everything. Like your father was just like, yeah, whatever your mom wants, make sure you do what your mom says. Even when she's wrong, he never challenges her. He just submits to whatever direction she wants to take. When she's wrong, she runs rampant. She's a tyrant. And he's just like, well, here's my money. Make sure you listen to your mom. Is that household stable? Would you say that anyone in that household is happy? And I would argue no, because every woman craves masculinity, genuine masculinity. They want to be told no. They want to feel safe to submit. They want to be led and protected, provided for, and cherished. Now, the problem is usually women associate submissiveness with slavery. Pretend I have handcuffs on. And the reason that they do that is because the men who claim to want submissiveness, who usually aren't able to properly articulate themselves, what they then describe after saying, no, I don't mean slavery, is a slave. You're going to eat what I tell you when I tell you, dress what I want you to, when I want you to, you're going to sleep when I want you to, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're going to listen to me. Relax. Relax. It doesn't need to be that serious. There's nothing wrong with being a leader and leading in your masculinity and having a feminine woman to support you and back you up. And sometimes she's going to know stuff that you don't. Sometimes she's going to be right and you're wrong. And you need this balance and this back and forth dance to make sure that you're not going too far in the deep end.
Because I don't feel like any masculine man would choose a Kim Kardashian.
Really?
Who has? Name one.
You're making your point, but I want to disagree, but you're making your point. I think Kim Kardashian would be a great counter. Why do you say no?
Say no, the what?
That a masculine man wouldn't.
Choose her?
Yes.
Because she's too outside. I don't think any true masculine man would choose a woman that's had a sex tape, even if they're a Kim Kardashian. For the most part, the majority of masculine men, because masculinity wants exclusivity. There's nothing exclusive when you've been busted spread wide open on the internet and millions of people have seen you. That's not exclusivity. I think that masculinity also desires a woman that hasn't been had or isn't known by so many different people. Homegirl, you've had 4 marriages. There's nothing exclusive about that.
And people, when men say that they want stuff like that, people often contribute it to the desire of being controlling, and that's not what it is. When you have a woman who has respected herself enough, the same way that you should, to not have been had by a bunch of different people, she is much more likely to stick with you, and y'all are much more likely to stick with each other. If you're both ran through, there's nothing stopping either of you, her in this example, from just running to sleep with some dude at the first sign of struggle, difficulty, or inconvenience. You practice how you play. And so if all your life you've been had by all these different men who make a bunch of money, some are rich, some are poor, some were gang affiliates, some weren't, and you've dealt with all these different soul ties, all these negative experiences and all this baggage, it's hard for you to cherish, respect, and appreciate something that's genuine and real when it is presented to you, because it is not an environment that you are used to at all. It's just not. And I fail to see any argument for 2 women, one who chose to be a little bit more respectful of herself, and the one that was hyper promiscuous. At the end, let's say they both get married. You think they're both of equal standard and that the odds of them either succeeding or failing is equal, which would be 50-50? No, it's not. Because there are learned behaviors and issues and traumas that the hyper promiscuous woman has faced that the girl who isn't hasn't. Does that make sense? How do y'all feel about this? Let me know down in the comments below. This was a really, really cool video. Again, answer the question from before. If you lived in a house where your mother controlled everything and your father was just a yes man, how did that go? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm so interested. Please answer that question. I will see y'all in the next one.